started out with a bit of a dream. I was training dogs in England. It was very committed. It was hard to have a family life with it. The boys were very young and I wasn't really getting a lot of time with them. So all the best dogs are in Ireland, and it was always a dream of mine to come and train dogs in Ireland and work with the best dogs. The system over here lets the children get involved, and I think it's very important for the sport to keep young people involved because they're the future, because a lot of this sport is run on people's love for the sport. It's not derived by gambling, money orientated, selling dogs. There's not a great reward out of it for a lot of people. They're doing it out of their own kindness and the love for the sport. So you need the young people involved in it to get the bug, basically, because it is like a bug.
We're very lucky. We were both brought up, Graham and myself, in dogs, and our three kids have been brought up, whether they liked it or not, with the dogs from the minute virtually they were born. And it's great. It's lovely that they're all involved, and it's family, so you're all pulling in the same direction. You know, we probably eat, breathe and sleep talking about dogs. Our eldest is in college, but he'd work in the kennels at weekends, and then Timmy's here all week, and Sheena would help out race nights and what have you when she can. And then Rachel, you know, we call her the boss because she just organises and dictates to all of us. We
normally start at 7:30 in the morning on the dot because the dogs like the routine. We'd let them all out and obviously clean the kennels out, do their beds. Once we've gone through all that, we start again letting them all out basically. After they've been out twice, we tend to go in for breakfast ourselves.
After they've sort of got the dogs cleaned out and what have you, come in for breakfast, Graham and I sit in the kitchen and we'll just go through every dog in the kennel, what it's doing, whether, you know, it's having a trial that week, if it's lame, how long it's been off with an injury, when we're going to start galloping it back, if we're going to be looking for a race for it, and etc. And we just go through every dog and just talk about it, what the plans are, make lists of, you know, what we're looking for races for, so that then Graham can contact the racing offices.
It's a family affair. Everybody's involved. Everybody knows the dogs. You get to know their characters. Like I say, if you're working with them every day, you get a lot of enjoyment out of seeing them do well in races and running well. Not just winning races, but if they ran well, it gives you encouragement to get up the next day and do it again, basically.
Our first probably big win was Sevenheads Bay down winning the Laurels in Cork in 2009, and it was our first, shall we say, classic win, and it was phenomenal. You know, it really was. We were all there. Graham paraded him, and just when he came out, he was drawn trap one, and when he came out, and the noise and the commentary from Michael Fortune and all the programmes going up in the air, and the amount of people going out on the track. You know, John O'Regan, he's just a gentleman, and the support he got, there was busloads from his hometown came there to support him. I've never seen the likes of it. It was just brilliant. I remember Rachel was only little and she was mortified and so frightened of the amount of people on the track. And it took ages to actually get the people off the track for the next race to go, but it was just, you never forget it. And even now we'll sit back and watch it on YouTube, and it was just, you know, it was brilliant. It really was a brilliant night. It was our first big win, shall we say, and we've been extremely lucky since then to have lots of other wins, but you always remember that as like the first big one.
Yeah, obviously we won the Derby. It was a shame the circumstances it was running, the atmosphere wasn't quite there, but it's still a Derby, and it was a shame for Pastana to get knocked over, fall over at the first bend, and so it took the gloss off it a little bit. But when you sort of sit back and think about it, you think, well, it was a Derby, and it was great the sponsors stepped in, and it was great the IGB kept the funding going, and the other stakes, you know, they could have pulled the pin on a lot of things, and it kept the whole business turned over. And you know, like, we need the government support to keep everybody moving, working. If there wasn't dog racing, there'd be a massive welfare issue for the dogs. We've
got Claire's Rocket and Gary Bobby are our two pet greyhounds indoors at the moment. Gary Bobby broke his hock, and we brought him back from the track, and we didn't have a kennel to put him in on his own because he was kennelled with another dog. So we said, right, okay, until he goes to the vets the next day, we'll have to put a bed in the kitchen for him. And he's never left the kitchen. That's where he stayed. He had his hock mended. Obviously he can never run again, but he stayed indoors, and he's just the total couch potato. He loves it. And then when Claire's Rocket retired, he was such a special special dog for us. And we said, you know, if ever was a dog that deserved a decent home, it was him. So he's in. And Bobby, he's brought Bobby out of himself because Bobby's totally lazy. Now, it took Rocket a little bit of time to settle, but he's settled brilliantly now. He loves nothing more to be sort of lying on the sofa or wherever he can lie, on the beds or what have you. And then we got a chocolate Labrador last year, and he's 18 months, and he just runs around them and expects them all to run around and play with him. And I think Rocket particularly looks at him like, you know, what are you doing? And Bobby does try and play with him, which is quite humorous to watch them, but they get on brilliantly. And it's lovely having them indoors. You know, it just shows you when they finish racing, they make great pets, and they really are. And they're not hard work. They love it, and they give a lot of love back to you. It's wonderful.
What is fantastic, I'm very lucky to have some really good owners that support us, and they rehome all their dogs as well. We never have a dog put down, and I think it's very important for the people to realise how much care and attention that people we give to these dogs. Like I say, it's a 7-day-a-week thing, 52 weeks of the year. They don't know it's Christmas Day. You know, like we might, and we try and get a Christmas out of it, but you still have to put it in if you want to take it out. And I don't think people really realise how much passion there is for these dogs and the sport, because if you actually looked at the hours that a lot of people would put in for very little return, they need to understand the other side of things.